Welcome, everyone, to Trend Micro Talks. I am your host, Erin Tomie, and today we're talking to Trend Micro's large enterprise sales director for UK and Ireland, Kate Emery-James. Kate, how are you doing today?
I'm good, Erin, and it's wonderful to be here. I'd love to share my insights with you. Thank you for the invite.
I am very happy to have you. I would love to just start with you sharing a bit about your role here at Trend Micro.
Of course. So I essentially look after the large enterprise team for the UK and Ireland, and that comprises of a number of our high level accounts. And what I mean by that is very large organizations, very complex ones that we serve. And I've got a team of account directors that work on a daily basis to make sure that we are both fulfilling our customer requirements, helping customers from a partnership perspective, and really driving new technology initiatives in those businesses.
Well, Kate, today I wanted to focus a bit on your Trender origin story, as I've been calling it. How did you find out about Trend Micro? What made you want to become a trender?
Well, it's really interesting, and I'm so glad you've asked that. So I've been in cybersecurity for 20 plus years. So Trend Micro has certainly been an organisation that's been on my radar for some time. And I'm what you call a bit of a boomerang. So there's an Australian sport where people throw a boomerang and they throw it out and it comes back. But so I've been at Trend Micro twice. So this is my second time at Trend. So I really one of those trenders that got influenced to come and join by another trender. And the reason for that is really because of the great culture that we have here. And we have an opportunity to really be very creative. The whole ethos around daring to fail is really important to me. Having the opportunity to understand how a long-term partnership works, but also we're such an innovative company as an organization, Trend. We do a lot of our development in-house, and that really means that we're able to keep really up to date with the latest trends that we're seeing. So to pardon a phrase, but essentially what we're able to do is make sure that if you're in an organization, you want to make sure that you're constantly keeping up to date with customer requirements, and Trend certainly is an organization that's shifted with the times.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that you have the perspective of being in the cybersecurity industry for a long time and you were familiar with Trend Micro back then, however many years ago, 5, 10. And now you've kind of joined Trend Micro, and Trend Micro is still a leader in the space, still innovating. And it's not like Trend is a company that disappeared from when you were hearing about them, kind of when you started in the industry.
Absolutely, and we've remained really current and innovative, which is great as an individual, because you're always keeping up to date with the latest customer trends or requirements.
Kate, part of your LinkedIn bio reads, leading high-performing teams to build world-class customer relationships in cybersecurity. I love that phrase, and I would love to hear how you define world-class customer relationships and how your team at Trend is working to build those.
Absolutely. So I really see it in 5 key ways. The first piece is to be genuine and authentic. So when you're working with a customer, they're a person who are trying to do their best in an organization where they're trying to represent their organization well and meet with their requirements and their goals. So it's not about getting necessarily to know the person personally. Obviously that helps, but it's really to be genuine about having an interest in them as an individual and understanding what makes them tick, and also being completely transparent and honest. And sometimes that requires difficult conversations, but I think it's really important when you're building a partnership is to have that authenticity, to bring your true self to that relationship and to work. And that really shows through, and that's really what builds our strong partnerships and gets customers to come back to us time and time again to understand how we can help them with future needs. That's the first piece for sure. The second piece is listening. Without being a really key, avid and curious listener and really testing your understanding of what's being said, and really being curious and interested in what people are saying, you're never going to progress that relationship. And if you're completely self-serving and not listening intently to what somebody's saying to you or not saying to you, how can you really truly understand them? I think the third piece is really being having mutual respect. So a relationship is a two-way street. So it's always important that if we're giving an organization what they need, that we're also helping to support them and they're also helping to support us. I'll give you an example of this. It's when we help them out with a incident, for example, and we pull that really strong team, the customer team, around that customer. And then in the future, them being a reference site or to speak to a prospective customer to really talk about their experience and being true to that example, that's really important. Being respectful. Being respectful is really something that I think not every organization really takes into consideration. You need to be respectful of people's time. Everybody's super busy. Being respectful of their needs and understanding if something's just not right for them right now, recognizing that and then coming back to it in the future when it is the right time for them, 100%. And I think value is the fifth thing I want to talk about from a world-class relationship perspective. The internet means that we can source information about vendors very, very quickly. So a lot of our organizations that we do business with, both customers or prospects, may do a lot of research about what we do well in advance. So what's important from my team's perspective is we're delivering value that's over and above the information that you can find on the internet. So it's really understanding what's important to that customer, where their strategic direction is, what their goals are, and aligning to those, and making sure we tailor our response and our approach to exactly what the customer needs. So that's really, in a nutshell, I think world-class relationships are about.
I love that answer so much. And I can really hear from your answer how much you really care about building those world-class customer relationships. And while I think all of those 5 aspects are important, from when we work with very small customers all the way up to our very large customers, I think it is especially important when you're dealing with all the complexities that come with these massive organizations that have many people on the team that you're working with, to help them with the product and making sure that anything that we're helping them with, that they're also being successful. So I appreciate, and I'm sure your team appreciates, that there is a lot of thought behind that, code of conduct, that vision statement that you've created for your team, and how important it is to creating that relationship with those customers.
Absolutely. And the great thing about Trend is they give you the opportunity to build those long-term relationships. It's not always what's important right now. It's also what's important to the customer in a year, 18 months, 2, 3 years down the line. And we've shown time and time again that when we invest in an organization and invest in the long-term vision for that company, it pays us back dividends in terms of our ability to meet their needs, but also understand their challenges for the future.
Well, Kate, I really appreciate you joining me here on Trend Micro Talks. I've really loved our conversation today about building those world-class relationships, and I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too, Erin. Thank you.